8 months ago, from this assembly, we said that on the Palestinian issue, Europe is on the wrong side of history, because it's far from doing all it can for peace. Unfortunately, this is still the case. The issue of the safety of journalists in Gaza, it's a clear example of the unbelievable scale of destruction. According to the UN, since 2023, over 2,040 journalists have been killed by the Israeli armed forces. I wonder, how does a European citizen feel when, on the one hand, there are calls for harsh sanctions, even military interventions, and on the other, Europe turns a blind eye to the mass killing of tens of thousands of Palestinian civilians, in what the UN has called a genocide. Last night, dozens of peace activist ships carrying humanitarian aid were intercepted by Israeli forces. This is an act of international piracy and a severe violation of international law and the law of the sea. The Council of Europe must condemn this act of piracy and demand the immediate and safe return of all activists to their countries. It is the Israeli government that must respect international law, instead of the international community tolerating acts of violence, piracy, and genocide. Meanwhile, we have been hearing of the Trump plan, which could be a solution, but it has many gray areas. There is no commitment of the creation of a Palestinian state. We cannot ignore the right of Palestinians to self-determination. And it is very important that many countries recognize a Palestinian state. But the plan for the transitional administration in Gaza gives Tony Blair a leading role.
Thank you, Alexis.
But who is Tony Blair? He is not an advocate of peace, but a hawk of war, who lied and misled public opinion about invading Iraq. So it is tragic irony that this politician wants to bring peace to Gaza. Peace for Israelis and Palestinians can only be achieved through a two-state solution on the basis of the 1967 borders, with East Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine, after a ceasefire and the return of all hostages, and with the active involvement of the UN Security Council without self-ordained saviors. So I call on European leaders to stop being passive and to take initiatives to end the war.
Dear colleagues,
and guarantee.
I have just said that I will be a bit flexible with the political groups, the representatives of the political groups.